Welcome to Fables and Fairies. I'm a fairy, we tell fables, you know, it's the deal. And we are now in episode 3. Super exciting. So before we dive in, of course, to where we last left our intrepid Candlekeep Outsource Commission squad on their way to Baldur's Gate, we have to get through, of course, our housekeeping and announcements. Number one, of course, being that we are speaking to you magically from the past. Because of technical limitations and scheduling concerns, we have to pre-record and then broadcast. But if you are watching us now live for our premiere on Twitch, many of us are in chat. So say hello, say what's up, and let us know how you're enjoying it. Second thing, speaking of Twitch, very excitingly, as of this recording, we have just freshly, I think it was about 3 hours ago, hit affiliate status. So woo woo woo! We finally did it. So that is, I couldn't be happier. Thank all of you so much for this. It really means a lot to see that this is being successful. So rest assured, the episodes shall continue. We are, continuing on to awesome, bigger, brighter things. So stay tuned for that. By the time you're watching this, I may have already had a celebratory, first stream as an affiliate. I'm going to put Anthony on the spot and say that we're going to make something happen at his house, but, we'll see. We'll see. So if I've already had a celebratory thing, I hope that you all have enjoyed it. Otherwise, consider this our first official broadcast as affiliates, and hooray. So we are super hyped about that. Big things coming. Wonderful Hannah, who did our amazing overlay, is going to be working on our emotes. And there is way more, I kind of knew what came with affiliate, but there's even more than I thought. So stay tuned for that. Hopefully very soon we shall have some awesome emotes and badges and things that I have already been chatting with her about very excitedly. So we're super hyped to do that. And I think that about covers things. Just sort of general ground rules. This is a loving, awesome queer community, so don't be a jerk in chat. English only in chat. That's happened to me now on the last broadcast, so I have to put that out there. And just be awesome. And if you don't catch the whole thing here, check us out on YouTube. A link will appear in chat presently. Or if you're watching this on YouTube, hello, throw us a subscribe, and we would really appreciate it. But
I suppose people are free to speak whatever language in chat they want. They should just know we won't understand it.
Well, that's true. That is, no, not exactly, because if I can't understand it, I don't know if they're calling me homophobic slurs, as has already occurred. So for that, we do actually say English only in chat, please. Our apologies. That
I've been educated, and so has the audience.
Indeed. So that is the case there. But yeah, show us some love. We really appreciate you helping us get here with your follows and your views. So now, if you are excited about these emote things, throw a subscribe here on Twitch. And of course, it's free to subscribe over on YouTube, where you will catch our recordings a couple of days after the fact. So, without further ado, we are ready to dive back into our exciting adventures of the Candlekeep Outsource Commission, as previously they had been dealing with the sudden death, the murder of some of the Night Watch that attends to the books within Candlekeep, and eventually coming to realize that the books themselves, or a creature taking the guise of books, is to blame. These Gingwatzam that can pose as objects and siphon away life force that you are now investigating, as it turns out that it seems as though 3 such books have recently been subject to this deception. So you have inquired with the individuals who brought a couple of these books and delved your way and are pursuing your lead towards Baldur's Gate, where it seems that these books may be originating from. Along the way, there was a nighttime tussle, a failed ambush by a lycanthrope of the were-rat variety with his rat buddies that was turned aside and sent running. And we now wake a little bit late the next morning as you rise and begin your final day of travel. You expect that if everything goes well, you will be arriving proper in Baldur's Gate, maybe just a bit after noon today. We are back as the party has successfully fended off their nighttime incursion by lycanthrope giant rats. Gotta throw them in there even if you're not level 1. And so you wake successfully rested the next morning, prepared to make your half day's journey into Baldur's Gate proper. Is there anything that you wish to do starting off the day or on your travel?
Wait, did we get a long rest?
Button.
Yes, you have a long rest.
Everybody click the long rest button and then click confirm if you haven't done it before.
All out of game suggestions must be done in song.
Good.
Inability to carry a tune for very long will not be a problem.
Be careful if we ever do transition to broadcasting live, then that might turn into a bits option or a channel points option.
You know what? If they're willing to suggest songs in the chat, I will happily karaoke my way through this feed, especially if they're willing to donate to charity.
Right. Right. Okay.
You should do anyway. Donating to charity is a nice thing to do.
It's true. You shouldn't have to watch people on the internet do dumb things. You should just give money to charity.
84 years.
I think the answer is that we don't want to do anything except for wake up, take our long rest, and get to Baldur's Gate.
All right.
Yeah.
As we get within view of the
Gate.
The gate,
I'm assuming.
I forgot that spell is not as long as I think it is. I hold it. We'll see what happens.
Gotcha. All right. Well, the remainder of your journey today passes uneventfully as you make your way towards Baldur's Gate proper. And sure enough, eventually the party comes to a rise in the road. And as you have been traveling, traffic has been increasing. You are seeing more carts and wagons and people on foot as well, just sort of joining the road from scattered settlements on the outskirts. So you know that you're getting quite close. And as you come up to this rise, our camera sort of pans upward and out to reveal a sprawling city tucked into the river valley below. The coastway, which you have been traveling, continues down to the banks of the Chanthar River and vanishes into a cluster of slums and tightly pressed row houses, buildings that form one of the many squalid suburbs of Baldur's Gate. Neglected row houses and shops loom overhead as our adventurers make their way through the dense crowd onto Worm's Crossing, the primary access point to the infamous City of Blood, this massive bridge that spans the river and literally has buildings built up the side, sort of looming over and clinging off the sides of the bridge itself. The tide of traffic almost carries you with a mind of its own forward and through the great basilisk gate, bedecked with elaborate statues flanking its tarnished bronze doors. Barely visible through the ramshackle buildings nearby, you can just see the immaculate walls and the polished villas that of Upper City, perched high upon the cliffs, where the elite patriarch families make their homes and have every luxury available to them, looking down upon the rest of the city, including the famous wide market that you are searching for. And so you find yourselves almost deposited as the tide of traffic, sort of splits off within the city walls, people going about their business, this sort of steady press of activity of people coming in. And so you are in a large square just within the Basilisk Gate.
Well, it seems like there's plenty of people to ask where we need to go.
I will launch my own investigative search pattern. I'm going to cast guidance on myself, and I'm basically looking for the words that we discovered in speaking with the Purple Knight, which is not coming to me at this exact moment.
It was something Dune. Is that what
Yeah.
you're talking about?
Yes. And it's a
That's
bookstore. Bookstore with the word Dune somewhere in it.
All right.
I got the impression it was just kind of a stall at the Y.
Yes, book stall.
So are you guys going to sort of make a beeline for the upper city to seek out the wide, or are you sort of like inquiring around or doing anything down here in Low City?
I think we should get to our destination and get our job done.
Agreed.
Yeah.
All right. So as you make your way, you have, I think, at least one or two Baldur's Gate previous denizens there with you. You roughly know the way. You sort of climb up through the tiers of the city streets, the sort of zigzag, dilapidated and neglected buildings, obvious here and there, until you come to a second wall of the city and a second set of gates, where it does seem that there is more scrutiny. You can see the Watch, which are the paid guards of the upper city. The Patriarchs fund them separately, just to protect the upper ward. So they are stationed at this gate, sort of like keeping a more scrutinous eye on people as they are entering into this portion of the city.
Do we think we're going to have any trouble getting in?
Do
Yeah,
we
are they
have
stopping
badges?
us?
I mean, I personally am well dressed and clearly a scholar of great renown, but I don't know about the rest of you.
I'm just sort of napping across our cart.
Yeah, I look like a heavily or moderately armored Gith with a giant greatsword.
That might
Mhm.
cause problems.
Do we, but in all seriousness, actually, do we have any kind of symbol of office or identification?
I would say so. You have, you know, your typical sort of like FBI, you know, flip open the flap, sort of
Yeah.
thing that has Candlekeep's crest on it. It's not very specific. It's just, yeah, we're authorized, you know, we are, citizens of Candlekeep, essentially.
I do, in defense of myself, I do have the Baldur's Gate Sage background.
Mm-hmm,
And so I do have something that should help us find this if we can't find it, you know, swiftly. But also, I am not unknown in Baldur's Gate. I would imagine.
mm-hmm,
Yeah, my plan is to keep napping.
okay.
And do we need to like park our cart anywhere, or is it going to be easy enough just to drive it into this market? I imagine the streets are busy enough that we might have had to park it outside.
That's what I'm guessing.
No, you can bring it into the city. Bringing it into, you could probably find somewhere to park it, be it in the lower city or the upper city, but actually bringing it into the wide would probably just not be physically possible.
I have to wake up.
Yeah. So let's find like a stable or some place where we can, you know, let somebody else look at it for the next several hours.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's then my intention to immediately set off on a search pattern without like further conversation.
Gotcha. So are you looking for a stablery in the low city or the upper city?
I'm assuming that like I don't know enough about the city. I probably just saw the gate to the upper city or the wide and said, "Oh, something about this cart."
Mm-hmm,
So I'm looking around the area where we are about to enter.
Okay. Yeah, fair enough.
Close to the wide.
Yeah. All right. So as you come up the gates to the upper city, the guards do take notice of the Gith at the controls of the cart and sort of raise a hand. Hail, friend! What business brings you into the upper city today?
Commerce.
And what sort of wares are you trading in?
Meow.
Well, I'm looking to purchase something with some of your gold. I was led to believe that is how commerce was conducted here in Baldur's Gate. I exchange good for material service. Is that not the case?
Roll a persuasion. Thanks to your background, take advantage.
Okay. How do I advantage this? Oh, that's interesting.
Nice. A heads up to the audience, by the way, we are having some Roll20 is having some glitches. So unfortunately, we don't have our little roller box. But coming out to a 15 persuasion is very nice there. So the guard sort of looks you up and down, and sort of like chuckles at your terse tone, and just sort of waves you on without saying anything further.
Good morrow to you.
That's some good garden right there.
Just lets anyone through.
I mean, it is so. Those of you with the Baldur's Gate connections, that during the daytime, anyone technically speaking can go into the upper city. They just sort of keep an eye out if anyone seems suspicious, but by law, anyone is able to go there. But there is a curfew at sundown in which only residents of the upper city are permitted to remain.
So what you're saying is we need to steal a house.
That's descent into Avernus, okay?
We earned that house.
It's also not a no.
Yeah, that's not a no. That's exactly right. I like this perspective. I tap you with my tail.
So as you come into the upper city proper now, there is a sort of large square immediately behind the gate. And there is a stablery sort of off to the side there that you can head over to, and the stable hands will come out and sort of, size you up and sort of look at the cart, look at you with practiced eyes before saying 5 gold for the day.
That's insane.
5 gold?
A gold, and I will not take your insult so seriously.
Roll intimidation with advantage.
I will. Yeah, I was gonna say I'd help him, but I don't need to.
18.
D&D
Okay.
characters always haggle over the dumbest stuff.
And they sort of, look at you, look at the sword, and like you see them briefly glance around to see how far away the nearest watch member is, and then they're like, my apologies, we can give you the friends and family discount of 2.
I want no further, trouble, and I'll just pay the man.
All right.
2 gold is
This
pocket change.
one's name is Susan. She likes it when you scratch her behind the ears. This one's name is Sparklebolt. I don't know what she likes.
Find out and tell us.
Right.
We want a full report.
Very good. Very good. All right. And so with that, you are able to disembark and head on your way towards the Wide, which, as the name may suggest, is pretty difficult to miss. It is this massive, sprawling space that is at the center of the upper city. And as you come, you can hear the sounds of music, the smells of spices and cooked breads and meats in the air, the tinkling of wind chimes and the sort of rustling of hanging fabrics and what have you, as you come to this massive, vaguely triangular space of a couple acres. And all that you can see, as far as the eye can see, is tents and stalls and winding passageways, until just barely at the far side you can see, more buildings rising up at the opposite side.
Cooked meats, you say?
If
Indeed.
this were named today, it wouldn't be called the Wide. It would be called the Thick.
No.
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 This module is not that old. Is there any slightly less cooked meats?
There is probably anything if you can sufficiently go hunting for it.
Don't really care.
Fair.
Find the books. I'll grab a rabbit off someone's rack on the way out and just munch on it.
Uh-huh.
Like I said, I'm going to set off determinedly and investigate and try and find this location. And I will cast guidance upon myself.
All right. I forget who had the sort of like Baldur's Gate underground connections. That was you? Okay. Oh, that's right. Yeah, the Baldur's Gate sage is a little different than your typical sage. So are you sort of seeking out your background connections, or are you just doing some old-fashioned pavement pounding?
Old-fashioned pavement pounding at this point. I don't feel the need to let my connections know that I'm in town until I have need of them.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm armed with the fact that I'm looking for books and that the word Dune, the letters D-U-N-E, appear somewhere in the name of it, hopefully. On a secondary level, maybe looking for things like sand or something like that, berm, something in that vicinity, in case the information wasn't entirely correct. But
Maybe desert.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, then in that case, roll investigation with advantage. You have at least some degree of information to go on.
Such a good roll earlier. Well, this is almost as good.
Yeah. 19 or 23. I don't know where I was getting 19 from.
25.
20.
I'm spending the points.
Very nice. Very nice. Well, as you are moseying your way through the wide and checking out some of the stalls, overhearing some conversation, asking some well-placed questions to people that you don't think will be suspicious, and sort of spreading around your inquiries to mitigate your presence here, you come upon a couple of possible candidates that fit what you are hunting for. There is a stall, or really a tent establishment, one of the larger fixtures here, called High Noon Tycoon, which is a fashion.
A terrible board game.
It is a high-end fashion boutique. But when you mention the sort of desert, airs and whatnot, some people think, oh, they've got a really fantastic vibe going there. So that's one that is mentioned to you. There is a bookstore that doesn't quite fit your name recommendations, but people mention it because it has a decent reputation. As the Page Turns, Paige.
Good name.
And she deals in very interesting, eclectic books from all over. They sort of, taking stock of your bearing, mention that she has some magical elements that might be of interest. And also there is Amber Dune Books, a relatively new arrival, a stall sort of at the edge of the
That seems right.
the wide.
That seems like the one.
Is
I will
Amber
gather my
Dune-
experience and discover and declare quite loudly, I have found them.
Is Amber Dune Books one word or two words?
I will put all of these into the Roll20 chat.
Oh gosh, the Roll20 chat. Okay.
Because he doesn't have a.
I also found a location wherein we can purchase desert wear, should that ever become necessary.
Perfect.
I'm very tempted to burn down As the Page Turns for having a ridiculous name.
It's a pretty good name, to be
It's
honest.
run by a lady named Paige, and it actually
That's
has
why it's so awful. I say we start with Amber Dune Books.
agreed.
That seems to be the logical.
And how are we going to approach this? Do we want to give the
I don't know that we go in full law enforcement. I think maybe we
Exactly.
have one person go in and inquire about the possibility of getting some interesting books.
I need to get into Candlekeep.
I disagree. I think a show of sudden force will rattle their cage.
I think
I think we
subtlety
go
is the
subtle.
approach.
We can always rattle the cage.
That's the thing,
but
is we
let's
can
start
always be
subtle.
ready to pounce. We can always rattle the cage second. You can't really go back to subtle after you rattle the cage.
Can't unrattle the cage.
Yeah, exactly. You can't unring that bell.
Of course you
So
can.
I would say go in subtle,
The cage
go in
is down,
subtle,
and once
then
it stops vibrating, it's no longer rattled.
rattle.
You're not
Go in
wrong.
subtle and then rattle the cage. So the question is, who is going to go in subtle?
It appears I'm outvoted, but
Maybe
I will.
our sorceress could go in looking for some magical books.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
the the ideal here is going to be to just be a little bit clueless. Pretend that you are less scholarly than you may be, and that way this merchant, if he is selling cursed books, might feel more comfortable trying to offload one onto you.
If I recall correctly, the books were quite expensive. The individual in the purple armor suggested she paid was 250 gold.
Yeah, that sounds right.
250 gold for it.
Mm.
Do you look as someone who would carry around that kind of money?
I mean, I think I do. I can act fancy. I can talk her up about art and culture, and or whoever the seller is. So, yeah.
Walk up and give her hair some licks, like slick it down.
It sounds like you're well prepared. I will let you
little.
borrow 150 gold. That way, if you do need to purchase something, you'll be able to afford it.
Hopefully, we get to submit receipts.
You can just put it like
Oh.
maybe in my coin purse, which I can shake around. It sounds heavy. I won't have to buy anything at all, maybe.
Which, because of the magic of Dungeons and Dragons, holds 250 gold pieces. Because all coin
little.
purses are bags of holding. You're
Yep.
carrying a hobo sack on your back. full of gold.
Yep. All
Hmm.
right. Well, since Zokar has learned of this stall, and it is relatively easy to locate, it is off to one of the edges of the wide, and you do indeed sort of come up to see this somewhat ramshack. It is a stall. It does have some wooden elements to it, and sort of the closing awning and whatnot in front of it. But is sort of hastily, shoddily constructed, and laid out. In front, there are some, actually sort of pressed up against underneath the counter, there is a bookcase or two, relatively low, filled up with books. You can see on the countertop, there are a few sort of tastefully laid out, some of the larger tomes. And then behind the counter, you can spot that there is a nice glass case that has 2 tomes sort of set very delicately in it. Up at the front of the stall, sort of just like looking out, and actually there is someone presently at the stall there working, or I should say a customer that has come up, and this woman with sort of tanned hair, wow, I can talk today. Tanned, slightly weathered skin, but she's fairly young, has straw blonde hair that is done down in braids at her side, big wide eyes behind these little tiny spectacles. Looks fairly young, about a late teens, early teens human woman who is interacting with this very fancily dressed half-elf noble that is sort of like pulling out a few of the books and sort of chatting with her about that. And then behind the counter, you can see on another portion, there is a similarly young sort of teenage boy with sort of tousled, crazy bedhead in the same sort of like straw blonde, who seems to be working on repairing a book of some sort.
Is that the only person we see
into a
working the
monster?
stall?
You see 2 people behind the counter, a girl with blonde braids. That was a mistake.
Okay.
Blonde braids, who is currently interacting with a customer, and then sort of tucked away in the back, there is similar hair but crazy bedhead, this teenage boy who is working seemingly on something on the counter. He might be repairing a binding or what have you.
And he's like accessible, right?
No, he has
he,
his
like, way
back.
off?
He has his back turned.
Okay. I'm gonna just kind of approach him and sort of pretend like I don't know this lot and say, "Wow, that is some fine craftsmanship you're doing there."
And he sort of like peeks over his shoulder at you. Oh, hello, miss. Well, thank you. I do work well with my hands as best I can, and he'll sort of like lean to the side and show you this book of fairy tales. From the looks of it, it has this very beautiful sort of illuminated manuscript look with this pretty sort of fairy tale. The prince coming to the princess in the forest and that sort of thing. As he's sort of stitching together elements of a very weathered binding that he's trying to put back together and patch up with some leather. And the woman, the girl who is there at the counter, notices you come up and seems to be finishing up, and she hands over this what looks like an encyclopedia, perhaps, to this gentleman, and exchanges some money with him. A small little coin person. You can see her maybe a couple dozen gold pieces that she's sort of flicking through in her hand before she deftly pockets them. Oh, pardon me. I'm sorry. He's quite busy. Theron, you know that you're not supposed to talk to the customers. And she sort of scoots over and stands squarely in front of him. But how might I be of assistance, miss?
I'll say, terribly sorry, Theron. I couldn't help but notice you have an extremely impressive array of books of all sort, and I kind of like pick up some of them and note the different sort of like art style that's shown on the bindings and things like that. I'm an artist myself, and it's tough to put a book together, but to maintain things like this, how old these are, this is incredible. Where do you get these books from? This collection, I've never seen anything like it.
Oh, well, we have quite a variety. They come to us from other booksellers. It's a bit of a professional trade. If you find something that isn't suitable to your clientele, you trade it off, and it's a good family among us all. And as we search around and see what we can come by. But yes, we do take very good care of our tomes, try and find things that are maybe less desirable, things that have not been treated well in their former lives, and give them a new touch of color and a bit of extra durability to prolong their lives.
Devils will do that. I'm not there.
Like, I feel like I just know what Tally would say here. Oh, wow. I mean, I've seen a lot of bookshops. And what you've got up here is, I'm quite taken with it. And I could tell just from afar, your whole stall had just an air that I was intrigued by. But, I'm looking for something a little bit more interesting. Maybe some of your rarer sort of, I don't know. What do you have that's interesting?
Well, we do have is there any particular area or purpose that you're looking for? We have very rare storybooks and lost encyclopedias, rare biographies, and we do have a few very high-end tomes for the very learned folk.
I sort of like stand up a little straighter and make my speech a little bit more fancy. Yes, I'd like to see those ones.
Well, as it just so happens, we have two books in our collection right now that may be of interest to more refined collectors. There is this lovely tome, and she'll sort of gesture over to the first book that is in the glass case, and this one is a very interesting read, very esoteric, strange methods of medicine and care for dragons. And you'll see on the cover of this, it is beautifully laid out. There's sort of like this gold gilding around the edge, and in very sort of fine red script carved into the leather is Draconic Humors. And there is this stylized sort of gold embossed symbol of a dragon with wings outspread in a sort of Vitruvian man sort of visualization to it. So if elements of bestial care, strange mythical creatures, or less commonly trafficked in forms of medicine are of interest to you, then that might be an excellent addition to your collection. Fine mint condition as well. Very good find for any distinguished collector such as yourself, madam. And we also have a rather curious tome that came to us from interesting sources that deals with a bit darker matter. And she points to the next tome, which you actually recognize as, by description, and just sort of scratched into the leather on the front is The Dark Hunger. Now, this is a very interesting treatise on various hypotheses about the nature of the stars and the spaces between them. Very strange occult reading, if that is more to your liking, miss.
And I'm just like, oh, wow, how does one choose between two such incredible book specimens? That second one, can you tell me a little bit about, where did you get it? How old do you think it is? It seems like a really interesting tome.
Well, one can't be too loose-lipped about their sources, of course, but we did get it from a reputable dealer in such matters who deals in strange, more esoteric tomes of this nature. As for the age, our resident scholar has examined it, and she believes that to be somewhere in the vicinity of 150 years old. Excellently preserved in a previous collector's storehouse.
Well, I kind of like exaggeratedly shift my weight so you can hear the gold pieces clinking around. And I've been to Candlekeep. I've dealt in some really rare art and things like that. And while I'm really intrigued by this, I'm not interested in doing anything further unless I knew where you got this.
Ah, I see. Make a persuasion check.
Nice.
Okay, all right. That first roll, a 23. Very nice. Send the sorcerer to do your talking, folks.
Right?
That is fair. Well, I must admit that I actually do not know the specific provenance. My boss is the one responsible for the procurements. But from what I understand it, this comes from a prior collector. Someone else has had it in their collection for some time and needed to get it off their hands as they were in a bit of a tight spot financially. So, unfortunately, that's all I know, but hopefully that sets you at ease that there's nothing untoward. Someone else has already had their hands on it. It's been checked over.
Where's your boss?
Oh, well, she comes by occasionally to check on everything, make sure that everything's running smoothly. So if you wish to wait some time, I'm sure that you could converse with her.
I think that might be wise. Like I said, I'm very interested in tomes like this, but of course can't be too careful about provenance, as you said. While we're waiting maybe for your boss, would you mind if I hold over one of my compatriots who might be able to kind of use their expertise to take a look at the this book?
Fair enough. I did not realize that you were here with company. Please, do bring them over. I would be delighted. It's always good to have a group of people and find out the various different tastes that folks have. Like I said, we have those two books of very high provenance, but we have many other things that are interesting finds all the same.
All right, interrogation time.
Well, I'm going to go back to you guys and be like, look, I think there's something here, but who's good at like Arcana, all that stuff?
I have a feeling I know who's going to answer this question. Man with the big sword.
I mean,
Or with the
either
spell
of us.
book.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say, looking at the gith over here.
Yeah. Certainly, I would be able to take a look at it. And if you mention the name, it is the same name as one of the tomes that recently disappeared from the library. So if it's the same thing as that one was, then I should be able to tell, hopefully.
Mhm. Well, as not to cause any alarm, I think we're still kind of in their good graces. Why don't just you come back with me to the stall and we'll kind of take a look at it.
Sure.
No offense,
Yeah.
everybody, but we can't just be jumping in to attack this.
No,
cellar yet.
I agree with that.
The attack on the
I
bookstore.
was in favor of the subtle plan before. Let's keep going.
The subtle plan will
subtly
be
into the
add one more person every
I'm
time.
going to attack them. I was going to appeal to their sense of self-preservation. Those are two very different things.
So I walk back over to the bookseller and I'm like, this is my literary advisor, Dr. Arcanus, and he is going to take a look at this because I don't make any purchases without his opinion.
Ah, very understandable.
a most impressive specimen. It's clear that you've done great work with the restoration, and it is so well preserved. May I examine it?
Make a persuasion check. And you have Selva there sort of backing you up. You two are working together, so that's a reasonable advantage circumstance.
All right.
All
I rolled a 10.
Wait,
Yeah.
can I offer any help with that or no? Or is it too late?
Your help was what gave me, well, I guess, a
Right.
10.
Yeah. All right. Very well. Just one must be very careful. And well, seeing since you are an arcanist, I would be remiss if I did not offer you a few other offerings as well. And she'll reach under the counter and take out 3 other books. There is this red-bound tome with no title on it. There is a black-bound tome that is Introductory Musings, and then a blue-bound tome that is Gazes Beyond the Veil. I think that you'll find these very interesting, feel free to peruse them while I get the necessary materials to make sure that we do not damage either of these tomes. And so she sort of leaves those on the counter for you to peruse over while she gets these sort of fine silk gloves and begins unlocking the display case and getting out a fine piece of silk to sort of hold and cradle the dark hunger that she reaches for first.
Got
Can
it.
I like whisper to him and say kind of like, do you feel anything like we felt when we were in the office, or are you sensing anything
I
like that?
want
Are you
to,
hearing
like,
anything?
Yeah, I haven't sensed anything yet, but it wasn't until I touched the book and started reading from it that it seemed to speak to me last time. So I was hoping to touch it and figure that out. But while she's doing that, I will just briefly examine the 3 books she's laid out and see if I notice anything special or unexpected about them. I will make an Arcana check.
Sure, yeah.
Okay. Much better.
Okay. So, as you, 18 Arcana, not too shabby there, as you are thumbing through, the red unlabeled tome seems to be a kind of a wizard's notebook, almost. Like, this is where they kept their notes when they were attending some sort of academy. And actually, as a matter of fact, at the beginning, there is a sort of smudged library inscription almost that indicates it is from the collection of Academy Tower. But as you're flipping through, it's basically just a bunch of lecture notes on rudimentary casting techniques and sort of the basics of wizardry. Nothing too remarkable. The introductory musings is very flowery bullshit. Of just, so it's a philosopher talking about magic, and is just for sophisticated reading. And then Gazes Beyond the Veil is actually a relatively interesting read. It is a sort of a theoretical breakdown, a hypothesis treatise on the underpinnings of illusion magic, and a sort of philosophical dive, except this person does seem to know what they're talking about, on the underpinnings of illusory elements.
Interesting. I will. But I don't sense any like psionic or otherwise shapeshiftery BS going on in here.
No, nothing seems particularly unusual about those. And so
Okay.
that's as your thumbing. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, good. I was just like, okay, well, it's interesting the subject matter, but I'm not really here to buy a book.
And okay.
Growing bored, can I find a nearby urchin?
Sure.
You there?
and you see sort of like ducking through the crowd, this young goblin actually, that is just sort of like dipping through and sort of like looking up at some of the stalls and sort of like scoping things out. You know, they can sort of smell the food on the air and whatnot as they are weaving their way through. These
Small one.
Yeah. I didn't do it.
No, I have need. Go find Laughing Sean. Tell him Zokar wishes to call in a marker.
Gotcha. And he scampers off.
I'm gonna go find some semi-cooked meat.
Okay.
Semi-cooked.
Semi-cooked meat. You manage to make your way to the butcher's block, which is a square-shaped stall that just sort of like takes up a whole block of the wide, and there are dozens of butchers at work there, cutting away at a couple of raw carcasses and getting custom cuts of meat for customers, sort of barking orders at them and whatnot.
Do I see any bunnies?
Yes. Yeah, they do have some game, some hares and pheasants.
Yeah, I shout, "One hair lightly seared."
All right. And so that'll run you just 3 silver.
I throw them at them and I say, "One hair lightly seared."
Very good. All right, they will sort of look curiously at you and realize that like you actually want it like prepared, and they'll sort of
a little, just sort of tossed on a fire for a minute.
fair. So they will go about preparing it. So you have to wait a little bit while they skin it out and prepare it, but then deliver it to you nicely seared, and just sort of they see all types, so they're not shocked, but just sort of shrugging at you.
I'll walk back to the party and I'll be observing the bookstore, but I'll be observing the bookstore with a bunny in my mouth. Wow. Yeah.
Very good. So meanwhile, the woman has brought out the Dark Hunger sort of wrapped up in white silk, and she hands over a pair of silk gloves to Baratsune, and very gingerly sort of like opens up the front cover plate, if you will, and starts thumbing through it. Yes, you'll see that it is a very interesting tome. Strange musings on the nature of what lies beyond the cosmos. It's hard to tell which parts are inspired by madness and which have the ring of truth to them.
Well, he's wrong about this theory, but overall he's got some good ideas.
Ah, you are a scholar of the otherworldly, then?
I've been to other worlds. It's not so different from this one, but I appreciate the effort that has gone into this work, and it's certainly refreshing to see somebody else's perspective on such esoteric matters.
Well, I'm sure that you are well aware, a good scholar needs a trusty pair of spectacles, and it just so happens that we do have a sort of bonus deal, and she'll reach under the counter and take out this little, like, glass-covered case of reading spectacles. We do actually have a special now. With the purchase of 2 books, you receive a complimentary pair of reading spectacles, and I think that these ones actually will go very nicely with the gold filigree on your robe, sir.
Well, that is a enticing offer. I will defer to my mistress here to see if she truly wants to add these books to her collection, but that definitely seals the deal for me.
That is excellent.
I have to say, I agree, Mr. Arcanus. The spectacles certainly bring out your eyes, but I'm not sold on this book. I don't feel like I know enough about it. I just, as much as the contents inside, I wish to know a little bit more about where it came from. I mean, this seems like something that's, it's a little bit esoteric. But I don't make a purchase without knowing a little bit more, and I feel like certainly, yeah, I mean, you understand where I'm coming from.
You want to see the card in the card catalog.
Mhm.
Well, fair enough. It's pity to see it sit on the shelf for a bit longer, but I'm sure that there will be someone after it, so don't tally for too long, as she sort of starts to fold it closed.
What a brat!
I would, before she does that, try and make a Arcana check on this one as well to see if I can tease out any additional secrets from it.
Sure.
Ooh, that'll be pretty good.
All right.
25.
As you had been thumbing through it before, and there is a little bit of even through the gloves, there's a little bit of something to just the consistency of the pages that feels the tiniest bit off. And though you don't hear anything, it's almost like, when you sort of, you answer the phone and they don't say anything, but you can just sort of like hear the faint sort of breathing or the faint sort of background static. You kind of pick up that ever so faint hint of something being present there.
Got it. I suspect that the gloves are for preventing the spell from activating more than protecting the book. Just in the back of my mind, that's what I'm getting.
I noticed my pal Barry, I hope you don't mind if I call you Barry, is kind of getting that look that he had when he was in the office, and I pretend to sneeze in the most elaborate fashion and smash my hand on the book.
Okay. Make a deception check.
We're doomed. The market is suddenly destroyed.
This is fine.
All right. As you sort of notice this out of the corner of your eye and whatnot, and you go into this elaborate sneeze, the woman tending the stall sees this coming, and her flips the silk over the book, to sort of protect it, and moves it to the side, thinking that you are actually sneezing, but unfortunately you do not manage to touch it.
All right.
Barazoon, at this exact moment, sort of as all of that is wrapping up and she's closing up and starting to take it away, you feel sort of a bump, someone jostles you on your hip.
I will look over to see what has bumped me.
And you see sort of, there is a busy crowd. There are people constantly moving behind you. But you notice a figure that probably only comes up to about your shoulder about your shoulder, that is hurriedly moving away from you through the crowd.
Oh, you've been pickpocketed.
It's a good thing I don't have any money on me.
Oh, that's right. You gave all your money to Selva.
So I've been watching this from a distance. Do I see this happen? I'm just spectating with a rabbit.
You
I kind of
do.
want to say I kind of want to just keep an eye on the crowd.
I don't. Well, go ahead and make a perception check then, Tally.
Hold on. I haven't rolled anything, so give me 1 second. I'm okay at that. So when we do these doubles, are we doing the higher or the lower?
It's whichever one is first if you don't have advantage, which you don't in this case.
Okay.
So with a 10, no, this actually, you don't notice it. Baratzun is probably the only one, and he just happens to feel it.
The rabbit's real delicious, guys.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I suspect that I may have just been pickpocketed, but I also know that I don't have anything of significant value on my person, and I think...
You mean like a spell book?
Yeah. I'll make sure that I still have my spell book and anything that I would really miss.
As you sort of pat yourself down, your spell book is still there. You are missing your coin purse, but you know that you just emptied it.
Well, I'll have to get a new one of those eventually. But
That's a really bad thief.
Yeah, exactly. He
Putting
picked the wrong mark.
First, jeez.
Yep.
Okay. Well, it sounds like the book is getting put away. I don't feel like trying to stop her. I know what's going on here. And I will kind of nod to my friend and say, well, if you're still hesitant about buying the book, I understand. Perhaps we could browse the market while we wait for the mistress of the stall to come by, and you can ask your questions to her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I'm apologizing for my absurd sneeze, and I'm saying, yes, regroup. I think about it. I love to sleep on a decision. I don't know what's going. And I'm like, let's get out of here, Barry. I whisper to him.
Very well, very well. Do come back soon. I'm sure that she should be back, well, and she sort of looks up at the sky, probably in about an hour, and hopefully waylay your concerns. But, of course, I make no promises that it may not vanish in the meantime.
Hopefully that doesn't happen. I will do my best to convince my employer that this is an opportunity that should not be passed up.
Very well. Right, and so you are able to reconvene back with the group if there's anything to be done there.
Yeah, I will relay that I think the book is actually one of the shapeshifters, and the whole ruse with having the patrons wear the gloves is to prevent the shapeshifter from awakening before it has been.
So they know
sold.
about it is the point. They clearly know what this is, not some kind of accident. Like they know what's going on.
It's more than likely an elaborate scheme.
Yeah, they wouldn't let us.
That they are aware of.
Wouldn't let us touch it reasonably or ridiculously. They really didn't want us to be touching the book. So.
I have put a feeler out for a colleague of mine who might be able to help us. But now can I take the direct approach?
I think we should wait for the
Mistress, right?
Exactly. If we're trying to figure out what's going on here, I don't think it makes a lot of sense to bust the person who's interacting with the customers if we can try and catch the big fish.
Mm-hmm.
Keep your hands on your coin purses. The urchins are out, and I've requested the services of a cut purse of some renown here in the city. Should be on his way. So make sure your valuables are protected.
Baratzun, do you want me to hang on to your stuff, or do you want me to give it back? Or
I guess I'll take it back now. I'll just
now they think
find
they've already
other
robbed
places
you.
to put it. Yeah.
So now we know that she's the problem. We know this bookstore is the problem. We know they're deceiving things. What do we do now?
I'm hopeful that my colleague will be able to provide us with our next step.
So your direct approach, meaning you probably need some fire support.
No. But given the kinds of money being changed hands here, I'm sure the Thieves Guild knows where they are
I
staying.
would hope so.
They
Given that
always
the
know.
people going in here have
Maybe we can get them-
hobo bags full of gold.
Right, exactly. So we'll simply confront them in a less guarded location.
All right. So, in the meantime, while you wait for Laughing Sean to heed your call, the party is free to explore the wide, seek out anything else that they may wish, or do we want to move ahead in time?
Is there any information to be gleaned? I mean, I can certainly go back to the butchers and flatter them about how butchers always know everything about what's going on because their patrons are such gossips, and find out where this stall came from and when it showed up. And it's like, I'm happy to do background research, but I don't need to role play it if it turns out that there's not much to learn.
I mean,
I
What
wouldn't
about
mind
the-
looking at some of these other stalls that are selling books to see if there are any other like glass encased high end tomes that they don't want you touching with your bare hands in case there's
And-
more than one stall in on this.
Yeah, and maybe they have any idea who these people are as well. Are they new to town? Have they been to town?
Yeah, the booksellers are
years.
probably better about a new competitor.
I also wouldn't mind shopping for A, spices, and B, artificery type writings, books on artificy, or blueprints.
Should probably go visit Paige then.
Sure.
All right. Well, as you make your way through the wide to the indicated location, there is this large, bright pink tent that is sort of situated in a corner, has a good little lot to itself, and sure enough, hanging over the tent flaps, the open tent flaps, is a carved wooden sign that just reads, "As the page turns," spelled AIG. With nice filigree on it. And as you come into the sort of dim interior, there are these lamps that are lit by sort of reddish, pinkish flames that give a sort of pretty glow to the space. It's mostly white light, but it's just a little tint off. And there is the scent of old books, leather and parchment and dust. And there are books just piled up everywhere, sort of haphazard on every available surface, crammed into ridiculous spaces. Some of them are vertical, some of them are horizontal on top of the shelf, and so on and so forth. And you see behind the counter, there is this poof of pink hair, as the proprietor is just like has their nose buried in a book that is propped up on the counter.
Wow.
And this wrinkled old face sort of pops up over the top of the book, and you see massive spectacles magnifying this gnomish woman's eyes as she is looking at you and sort of scratches at her big pink afro. Oh, hi there!
I will get. Oh, sorry.
Gnome to you, madam.
I will give her the traditional gnomish greeting. Good gnome to you.
Good gnome to you.
Good home! What can I do you for today, folks?
I seek
You know, like-
blueprints, books on Mechanica.
I'm gonna slink up behind the counter and start grooming her afro.
Oh boy.
You don't touch a woman's afro without asking.
I do.
She as you get close with lightning reflexes, she slaps your paw. Consent, please.
It just looks like you could use a little help today.
Well, as it just so happens, I could, but I don't like to be touched without, some warning, please.
Okay, well, you have warning now.
Okay, you may proceed. Now, sir, you were saying you're looking for something particular?
Books on Mechanica, blueprints.
Yes, I think I have a
Tinkering.
a few things of that sort. Are we talking architecture, schematic design? Are we talking general mechanical engineering theory? Or are we talking about magical applications?
Magical application.
That is a trickier one to find. But I do have this particular tome, and she'll sort of point towards one of the stacks, and like half of the stack lifts itself up, and a book pulls out and flies over to her, and she sort of plops that down. It's a very heavy brown tome with the typical, like, you know, trigonometry meme is just scrawled across the front. That's an interesting primer on magical applications of energy to software, to devices. We've had a lot of
This is an iPhone.
We've had a lot of technical problems today, people. So like my brain is just in computer mode. We spent like an hour even before starting recording. It was
This is a user manual to a 1999 Dell computer.
yeah, basically, it is a very, you can tell just sort of thumbing through it. It's a very dry, you know, sort of theoretical text with a lot of equations and just general knowledge. But if you're looking for directly magical things in of themselves, I do have a few scrolls on hand that might be of use to you. And she'll sort of thumb through, she'll pull out a drawer, and you see her sort of flicking through dividers, and she'll pull up, let's see, she'll pull up 4 scrolls and sort of lay them out on the counter, and sort of go through them in succession. This one is rather interesting in that it rather forgoes the physical, but I understand it has some interesting applications. This is used to conjure a force field of energy around an individual to serve as armor without burdening them down. So that may be of interest to your particular talents. And on a similar note, this one here produces a temporary burst of force energy to protect you in a more short-term application. And similarly, in the vein of crossbows and what have you, the tried and true classic magic missile we have here available. And then if you are looking to animate forces and what have you, this spell might be of particular interest in conjuring a physical force that can animate and exert pressure on things.
I would be interested in that.
Ah, very good. Well, then that would go for 25 gold pieces.
The gold pieces I have.
So in the meantime, I've completely tamed her mane, and she's now got like a really nice decurled sort of hairdo going on. And I sort of curl around in front, and I say, "So what do you know about that new bookstall over there?"
Oh, Amber Dune, I think?
Yeah, that one.
They have absolutely no standards. I tell you, they will accept anything. I don't think that they really know what they're doing, quite frankly.
Why do you say that?
Oh, well, they have no organization to their collection. They have Chaucer right next to Einstein for one, and all sorts of absolutely rookie mistakes. They buy anything that anyone brings to them. Their prices are reasonable, but they have absolutely no discerning eye in what they pick up, and they just don't.
Seem to have some very expensive items.
They do. I have noticed that somehow they've gotten their hands on some very rare finds, and they're charging a pretty penny for them. And there are customers that are willing to pay, so, well, it hasn't cut into my business too terribly. I have plenty of customers that are regulars and understand the value of what I find in my travels. So I have not yet been affected, but it is rather discouraging to see individuals that are really not of the trade.
Oh, I hate it when imposters come and try to muscle in on my business.
Precisely.
So I'm gonna whisper, Selva. Would
Mhm.
you assist me? I'm still not used to this currency. I wish to make sure I do not overpay her. Can you help me in sorting these coins.
Certainly. And I'm gonna come in and just kind of like over exuberantly. Oh my goodness, your hair, it's beautiful. And we just came from Ember Dune or whatever it calls itself. And it's just nice to be an actual purveyor of, fine books. It's good to see this. But I can't help but notice,
Candlekeep, absolutely. We know good books when we see them.
Oh, you hail from Candlekeep then. Well, that is excellent. I've been there on a few occasions to read up on some interesting locales that I was planning to go to, and was able to bring them some interesting things, but it's always nice to meet other scholars.
That it's so nice to hear. That is not the reception we heard from Ember Dune or Ember Sands or whatever that other place was.
Pish posh.
But my friend Zokar, he is, he's always got an eye for the best merchants, and he suggested we came in here. And I see he's about to buy this book, and I hate to be like this, but I've seen it at a little bit of a better price at other stalls.
Oh, goodness me. Roll a persuasion.
You little liar.
Oh, well, that is quite remarkable. I'm not sure what else they're selling, as I can assure you that this is being sold at the slimmest margin possible. But I do appreciate the good word, and I do appreciate you coming to a more reputable dealer when you were encountered with something that rubbed you the wrong way. So, I suppose as a first-time buyer appreciation event, I can give it to you at cost. So I won't make anything on this, but at cost, it is 20 gold pieces to produce.
What do you think about that, Zokar?
I just need help with which one.
Oh, misunderstood your whole request, but I select.
You thought he was trying to get a better price.
Yeah.
He literally was just trying to count his coin.
I'm so sorry. This is all internal.
I love
speak.
this so much.
This is all
Anyway, I pick.
It worked
pick up
out.
the
It worked out well.
I
It's
pick up
okay.
the correct pieces, and I say,
Oh.
I could tell that's I knew we came to the right place immediately. And I'm so sorry. Did we catch your name?
Well,
think it's
yes,
Paige.
I'm Paige.
Paige.
I said her name was Paige when I saw the sign.
You said
You
that
did.
exactly.
You did.
Zokar, this son of a gun over here, him and his books he's always trying to buy, but and his scrolls. Yeah, Paige. I mean, look, I think we're on the same page here, if you don't mind. Have you? I mean, those guys over at Ember Dune. What's their deal? I mean, I know how these markets work. There's a whole back system. Like, what's going on over there? Have you heard anything?
Well, not in particular. They are relatively new. They showed up probably about 3 months ago, so they're still relatively new to the scene. Like I said, I think that they're just in over their head. They do seem quite desperate, from what I can see. They're really trying to pinch their pennies, cut corners where they can, and make as much money as possible, very fervently. I don't know what's driven them to get into a business such as bookselling, because if you don't know what you're doing, it's a hard business to make money in. It's not a quick buck, but that's what they've chosen for whatever reason.
I'm gonna lean in and whisper in her ear, and I'm gonna say, "Yeah, my friend over there is a really good cook, and I'd like to buy him a cookbook. Do you have any good books on the cooking arts?"
And she's sort of like, yes. Swing by a little bit afterwards.
Got it. I was trying to build up some goodwill here.
Right.
Yeah.
So she doesn't know what's going on, it turns out. So that's she doesn't know. I don't think. Well, we have an insight. I mean, does she know more than she's saying?
I believe her.
I know, but
just
does she
on
know?
general
Is there?
principle.
I believe her too, but is there more that she's not telling us? Is she a suspicious old busybody who's got other information that she's not telling us, or is this it?
I feel bad for raking her across the coals to get a better deal for Zokar, who couldn't have cared less about the price.
That's a really great.
Well, I'm going to buy a mundane book from her for money.
I know, I was gonna say, do you
after
have, like,
grooming her.
Please help me understand coins. I'm a man and I don't understand how the coins work. And just blurt it out. Oh, you needed help with how the coins work. Zokar would blush if he was physically capable.
Oh my god.
Oh Lord, I love it. I love it. Selva, take inspiration. That was glorious.
Ugh.
I will take the scroll now that payment has been made, and then I'm going to go stand outside the shop and look for Laughing Sean.
Okay, very good. So with Zokar exiting, it is quick and easy to for Tally to procure. What is the title and subject matter of the cookbook that Paige procures for you?
I mean, I'm looking for the most exotic, wackadoodle cookbook ever. I particularly want one about hors d'oeuvres because I know my friend enjoys hors d'oeuvres. So I think it is called The Choicest Bites.
Very good, very good. Yes, it is an elaborate, almost more so a confectionery book of small bite-sized sweet hors d'oeuvres and profiteroles and things of that nature. Very intricately put together with detailed drawings and these beautiful depictions of massive, elaborate spreads laid out in this cookbook that she passes over to you for 20 gold pieces.
So after, I'll happily pay her the 20 gold pieces, and then while the others are out there, I'm going to be a little bit more transparent, and without having to actually role play all of it, I'm going to basically tell her what we've seen in these, because she seems guileless enough. I'm going to basically tell her what we've seen in these potentially evil books, and that we're trying to find out what's going on. And then just see if she's ever heard of anything like that. I'm not going to connect it to the Amber Dune. I'm going to say, have you ever heard anything like these books that contain evil creatures inside them?
Well, that is absolutely mortifying. I have not heard of such a thing, and now she sort of looks around in slight terror at her entire collection. I hope it's not contagious.
No. You've laid hands on all these books. You've laid hands on all these books. They're fine. You would know. This does not appear to be something that inhabits old books for a long time. It seems to be something that happens very quickly. So you don't worry about it.
Okay. That's good.
I don't think you have anything to be worried about. I just think that we're just trying to figure out. We in the name of book collectors everywhere, we're trying to make sure that everyone's safe.
Well, I shall keep a very close eye out for that, and you be careful as well. You seem like very decent folks, and I don't want anything nasty happening to you.
Well, I have a feeling we'll be back here in future adventures.
I hope so. You're very sweet. You remind me of a bird I knew once.
I hate you. I will go and hand my new acquisition to my friend, and I will say, I thought that you would enjoy this.
What a kind gift.
Yes, gift. We do that here.
I will return this debt by making you something from this book.
That's exactly right. You will return this debt by making me delicious pastries.
I look forward to it. Thank you. And then he will clasp you in a very strong grip on the shoulder, in a very militaristic, like, thank you grip. And
I appreciate that.
It's possible that it in fact hurts.
I mean, okay. Did you see that video of the cat falling 8 stories out of the building today? It doesn't do any damage.
Oh Lord. Good. I guess while all of that has been going on, because that took a while for Tally to discuss, outside Zokar, you see a familiar face. And how does this familiar face present themselves?
Laughing Sean is a ginger-haired, shifty-looking, short cut purse. He's got his hand on what could be a dagger or a small sword, and his eyes never stop moving.
How do you spell that name, by the way?
The correct way, Shawn, because that is
Thank
how
you.
Sean is spelled.
Thank
Otherwise, we're just talking about scene, even though I'm making him Irish coded.
All right. Very good. So he sort of, sidles up next to you. You're sort of outside a almost like a cafe called Connor's Cold Cups that serves water deep teas, boba, etc.
Coffee.
Yep. And so he sort of sidles up
Sean,
to the table next to you. It's been a while since we saw yous around town. What's up?
I'm calling in a marker.
So I heard.
Amber Dune Books.
20s gangster.
Have you hit Amber Dune Books?
Nah, we've been scoping them out, though. They're an interesting operation. They got here about 3 months ago, and they cart their books around. They seem to have a collection that they're a little more proud of, but they live down in the low city, some of the slums. Blackguard. It's a pretty unsavory area. We figure if we're living there, they're kind of scrapping for scraps. So, don't take from like-minded fools.
Give me your best description of their location. I'm going to pay them a visit. Make sure that the rest of the guild knows not to interfere, that this is for payment owed.
Absolutely, you got it, buddy. And he'll describe in very good. He'll describe in very good detail where you can find it on the outskirts of the city, and describe where it is. We cased it out. Doesn't seem like there's any ways in or out. Just the front door, and they got one window in the alley.
How many come and go?
We count them at 7.
7.
Consider this marker paid. I will not be here long, but I, of course, continue to enjoy our association. If you have any more locks you need picked, you know where to find me.
I knows I can count on you. We'll keep an eye out for you. Know when you leave town.
Yes, I believe the term is reformed now. It's boring, but the sleeping comes much easier.
That's a right shame, buddy. We miss you.
I will then go find the group.
All right.
I appreciate your affect there.
I'm not the best at accent work, but damn if I don't try.
I don't mean you, actually. I was not referring to you. Though I do appreciate your affect. I'm just saying that's not what I was talking about.
Gotcha.
Okay, return to the group.
I know where they are. We can go to where they feel they are safe.
I think that would be wise. I was considering a plan to cause one of the books to reveal its true form out in the open in the market so that we could confront them. But
That
it
seems
might be
dangerous.
better to do this quietly.
We shouldn't sneeze wildly and try to cause a scene.
if one of those things could nearly fell you or I, what do you think it would do to our material friends? No, this is not the place for such a display.
I think we can handle it.
Yeah, it
All right.
caught us by surprise. I think we could do a bit better now that we have a better understanding of what we're up against. But still, if we can strike them where they least expect, then all the better.
Yeah,
No,
I think we have a very good backup plan. I think we have a good primary and backup plan.
Yes. They will not expect us to meet them in their home. It will place them off guard, and they will be more pliable in our hands. Come, I will show you the way.
All right. So, With that, you depart the wide and leave the upper city, making your way back down, probably through a different gate as you head to the neighborhood of Blackguard, and coming down. And of course, as you are going, the buildings get shorter and squatter and more shoddily constructed. You pass through another one of the city's gates and out into the slums that are outside even the city's walls. And making your way through definitely a very unsavory area that has been long neglected by the government of Baldur's Gate and its citizenry at large. There are stilt buildings to try and combat, some of the natural flooding in the area. And so as you're making your way through the muddy streets, you come to a squat, square building, just one story. There are, long planks of wood forming the roof. It is rather, sort of crummily put together, ill-patched in places from mismatched wood. And just as had been indicated to you, a front door, and then there are alleys to either side. And actually, I will go ahead and move you guys on Roll20. Hello there, folks. It's Brendan, editing time Brendan, from the slightly less distant past here. As you might have gathered, we had, once again, unfortunately, a lot of technical difficulties with this episode. We apologize for that. It is one of the things that we are looking to improve. We're changing over to a new machine to run the recording and whatnot through our session. And hopefully, if subs continue to come in, we will be upgrading some of our equipment soon. So if you like the spirit of the content and you want to see some better quality visuals going forward, we would really love your support as subscribers. But anyway, I want to jump in here and say that our Roll20 was unfortunately once again not able to function with our software. So I'm showing you here a visual of what the party is going to shortly be seeing of the map that we were unable to display. So take a moment, acquaint yourselves with what you're seeing here as the party is about to explore in this vicinity. Now, back to the gameplay content. Thanks so much. So, you are outside this squat building. There is a front door, also alleyways to either side that are sort of blocked by other buildings coming in, but they do go back a little ways, and on the right side there is, on the left side there is a window.
So I'm going to go for the window.
Okay.
Can we move?
Are we
Oop.
I don't see the window.
waiting here, staking it out, or are we just going to break into their shop in like the late afternoon?
I suggest that we find a place to lay low until the shop closes for the night, and then we, if we wish to confront all of them. If we wish to confront whoever is not working, my contact said there were 7 of them. I've only seen or heard mention of 3 people from your story. Then if we wish to take on a smaller force, then now would be the appropriate time to assault their hovel.
I just want to say, do we assume we're going to be fighting them, or maybe we can?
I think once we break in, it's kind of all bets are off as far as.
Yeah, I mean, the real question is, do we want to break in while they're at the stall and figure out what their backstory is, or wait till they're all in one place?
It's been my experience that a sufficiently aggressive display of force usually deters retaliation. If we go in fearsome, they will no doubt be frightened of us.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I personally want to try and catch the lot of them. So I'm on
Yeah, so let's wait till later in the day.
Till later, but
I think that's right. I think that's right, Trigger. I think we should wait till later in the
Yes,
day.
let us wait for sundown. We will catch the lot of them.
So we're presumably sort of slightly retconning, because we're not just going to stand here in this alley until they all
Right.
parade past us into their own house.
Right, exactly. No, I just put it there so that you guys would have a
We're
little bit
all
of...
wearing those sunglasses with noses and mustaches and newspapers in front of our face to
Very
make sure
good.
no one sees us.
I mean, I
Alright.
assumed the Gith were wearing Groucho glasses the whole time because.
This is how
They do that all the
how
time.
mortals
That's
look, right?
literally their normal outfit.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I
good.
think.
Oh, look at me. I am a human with my glasses and my mustache. Look at me.
Exactly.
Good, good. All right, well then in that case, I would like, as you guys split up or disperse or move to an area, everyone make me a stealth check to see how you weather out the remainder of the day.
Okay, cool. Hold on. Let's see here. A stealth check, you say?
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy.
Ooh, this is not good. This is not good.
Mine's not terrible.
When the
Uh-huh.
person with the highest stealth rolls really bad, that's not good.
So yes, our the party
I rolled bad.
the party rogue got a total of 10. Selva gets a 5. Baradzoon gets a 6. Tally with a 16. And
I'm doing
Zokar with a 10.
I
Okay.
can talk with people. I don't need to be stealthy. I just kind of like chat people up and.
I got a 14 using advanced Gith Yankee stealth tactics.
Oh, good. Good. Well, anyway, long story short, you disperse, chat with people as best you can, trying to look unobtrusive, but given the type of people that live here, you do kind of stick out like sore thumbs, being well clothed and well appointed, as it were. But go ahead.
I didn't change around my infusions this morning, so for purposes of infusion knowledge, AZ, you still have the shooty shoot, wing shoot face, and I still have armor, magic armor.
Gotcha. All right, very good. So after probably about 15 minutes, you notice the door actually open, and a woman wearing sort of like a cowl over her face. You can sort of see brunette hair that is sort of like along the sides of her face, dark, very desert ruddied skin, and she is flanked by an older male who sort of walks with a walking cane, and then another sort of teenager who kind of bears a teenage female who kind of bears a resemblance to the one who did most of the customer service. And they come out and start to head back towards the city, the same way that you came from.
What approximate time is this?
This would be probably about just a little bit before 2 in the afternoon.
Okay, we're still waiting.
Okay. I'd say we wait till like 8.
Yeah, evening.
Whatever sundowny time is around this time of year.
Should we maybe go to like a tavern or something instead of just hanging out on the streets
Fair point.
for the next 6 hours?
I mean, alternatively, this is now 5 of the people are now out of the place. If there was ever a time to sneak in and see what we can see while no one's around, now might be the time.
That's my other thought.
Anybody lock picky?
Baradzoon has aged, addled. It was your suggestion that we wait for them all.
Yeah, I wanted to catch them all or none, and now it seems like we could catch none of them.
Well, if anyone wants to try to, if anyone wants to try to sneak in, like I'll hang out at the front, and if they come back, I'll distract them.
That would work. I can attempt to sneak in.
Alternatively, I could break their wooden door into splinters and we could simply march in. This is our right.
Let's sneak in, but like you go with him, and you can divine if something weird and Gith Yankee is happening.
Are there any guards in this part of the city, or is it just like they just leave it? Okay,
Sure.
that's good.
I have a plan. I would like to go up and knock on the door.
Oh, goodness.
Okay.
Are you civilized?
Are you
I'm sorry, I
discussing the
missed
plan,
you.
or are you just doing it?
I
Hello,
apologize.
friend.
I
I'd
missed
like
part
to
of
buy a
this.
cup of sugar.
I will be around by the window in the back. I will not be knocking on the door.
Okay.
Oh, I've got a good idea. We want to sneak in. We pretend we're exterminators. And can one of you summon like animals?
I'm still watching at the window.
Okay.
No.
Even
never
with
mind,
this
that won't
idea.
work.
I mean, I
Still
can do
watching
press the digitation. I could do something.
Tally,
Make the sounds of animals.
Tally, give me a perception check since you're sort of slinking over and looking in the window.
Yeah, I'm definitely trying to not be part of the main group. 24.
Okay. So sort of peeking up around the edge of the window, you can see, let's see, how can I do this?
Oh,
That is tricky. Okay, let's
exactly. What a good timing you have, Sophie. We're looking in the window.
see. I think I'm gonna do that. And I'm just gonna like move you into the room so that you can see.
You can do whatever you want to do, Dungeon Master. Move me wherever you want to move me.
So as you peek in, you're still technically outside, but I moved you there to give you visibility of the room. As you peek in, you can see a very sparsely appointed common area. There is a table, a variety of mismatched. There are 7 mismatched stools and chairs and whatnot that are sort of scattered about the room. This really old ratty rug that is on the floor, and there's like a painting on the wall of like this lion or something. And you see 2 individuals with the similar sort of desert ruddy skin, weathered skin, that are just sort of like sitting back in respective chairs. And they seem to be, actually, you can probably hear, given the shoddy construction, they're speaking to each other in a language that you probably don't understand.
Got it. Okay. Well, I'm going to keep an eye on things and see what happens when my friends decide to go in the front. And in a slight retcon, obviously, I would have told them that this was my plan.
Gotcha. Okay. Then is
Since I'm
Baratsune
stealthy.
knocking on the front door?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's. I've already forgotten what my plan is, so we'll improvise now.
Good.
That's good. I like this.
So Tally, peeking through the door, can see these 2 humans. As soon as there's the knock, they reach for their belts, and one of them actually does pull out a dagger.
Oh, wow. Okay. Goodness. Okay, well, I'm going to fix... I am going to draw my bow, but obviously not do anything with it, but I'm going to be ready in case they decide to get ornery, and I'm going to, kill them.
Gotcha. Okay.
Not to put too fine a point on it.
No, absolutely. And
You're putting a fine point in there.
one of them slowly, they sort of look at each other and speak in that language. And one of them goes up to the door and sort of calls through in common. Who is it that goes there?
I am with the city vermin control, or the office of vermin control, and we've heard reports that there's an unacceptable amount of rats in this neighborhood that I'm going to have to do an inspection to make sure that they aren't nesting in the foundations.
Roll a deception check. Okay, a 12. That is ridiculous. The city does not care what goes on in this quarter.
This is a mandatory inspection. You have 3 seconds to comply, or the inspection will take place without your acceptance.
Oh God.
The city doesn't care what happens here, but when the vermin start spilling out into the neighboring boroughs, then it becomes my problem. And I have to sort out the root cause wherever it may lie.
I am
All
Rat
right,
Man.
Zokar, roll intimidation with advantage from your compatriot.
Ratman.
Oh, I rolled an 18. I don't know why it didn't come over.
Okay.
Uh,
Well, like we said,
So
roll
I
20
just-
has been misbehaving today.
I mean, a 16 isn't exactly that much worse.
Right.
I rolled a 19, actually. I rolled 18 on the die, +1. But yeah, there's not too much to it.
Nice. Okay. Let's see here. Okay. You hear the sort of scrambling of probably like two locked, and Tally can see like two lock chains being undone, and the door sort of swings open. From the back, you can see the dagger is like behind their back as they're sort of, he's in this sort of pose of, you know, deference and sort of bowing as they enter the door, but he still has the dagger behind his back.
This is a dumb question, but can Zokar see me at the window?
Roll a stealth check.
Well, but he knows I'm there.
Oh yeah, if you know, yeah, that's reasonable.
Did we all kind of go in together as fake real
Yeah.
I mean,
exterminators?
it's me. It's the pair of GIF looking very militaristic and intimidating. If you want to also be there, I don't
Yeah.
see why
Half
you-
bureaucrats.
I'm gonna pull out like my sketch pad and I'm gonna like look around and act like I'm tallying for vermin or
Mhm.
like
Drop
Sparks
in.
in the air.
Show us your larder.
Yes, over that way. The one who answered the door has sort of like moved to the corner and is just sort of like, you know, standing there, unassuming, while the woman sort of moves over. Yes, right this way. And she will open up. Actually, well, hang on, I gotta.
Your compliance is noted. Your compliance will continue with you leading the way to the larder.
Yes, right through here. And she will step into a small kitchen, basically.
and I'm still kind of trying to be nice. I'm like, oh my god, I love what you've done with
I
your
love your
countertop.
rug.
Such a great place to live.
I kind of make a show of looking, poking the floorboards with a rod and just acting up the part of somebody who's really not paid enough to come down here and look for rats.
Fair enough. Sort of, poking around and doing that. Zokar or Selva, anything in the kitchen?
I kind of say like, I'm gonna open this pantry if you don't mind, and I kind of look around.
Yes,
Oh.
certainly.
I will shout out to Baratzun. It appears to be relatively well kept in here. Should we proceed to phase 2 of the examination?
I agree with your observation. Phase 2 seems in order. I have no idea what phase 2 is.
I will immediately grapple the nearest, not us.
Oh, what?
Wait, can
Not phase 2, it's just like
I guess
Can
I
we get-
missed phase 2. Sophie,
Can the-
run.
All right.
can the gal I'm talking to hear that, or can I continue to just chatter up?
We are gonna go ahead and roll initiative with your D12s, and we'll go from there.
Well, you could have warned us about this phase 2.
I asked if we were initiating phase 2.
What's phase 2?
Part where we,
My initiative is a 13.
Okay. Zokar is a 19.
I go first.
My goodness.
How'd you get a 19 on a D12?
Wait, no, not
I
Zokar.
did.
I rolled a 12 plus 7.
Zokar is an 8. Azure is a 15. Baratsun is a 19 because wizards, time wizards.
My last character had on the D12 roll a plus 15 modifier to initiative rolls.
What?
So
Oh.
good.
He was
So
also
good.
level 20.
Yeah, but if he gets to level 20, he'll have about that same modifier.
Yeah.
And it's when you're just like, I go first because I want to.
All right.
Wow.
So,
I'm so sorry. How do you guys know what to add to the D12?
It should be
Initiative?
initiative,
Mm-hmm.
and it's basically your dex
Next to your
modifier.
armor class. It's a big plus.
+2. Okay, so mine's a big old 3.
Yep.
That's still
pretty
not
good.
nothing.
It ain't nothing.
The highest you can do is
One
5.
one more stupid question. When you said like take inspiration, I clicked it and a lovely symbol appeared. What does that actually mean?
It means that at any point in the future, you can expend that to have advantage. Even if you roll something where you didn't have advantage already and you don't like how it turns out, you can do the inspiration after the fact.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Because I like inspiration. I'm fairly,
Basically, get out of jail free card.
yeah.
Love it.
Yeah. All right. So,
So I
Baratsun.
still get
So it looks like Zokar is about to attack the person that he's next to.
Mhm.
I am going to cast Charm Person on the other person.
Okay. So in the kitchen.
Yes.
these are Gith Yankee tactics I approve of.
Very good. Okay. Let's see here. What is your DC? It's a wisdom save against your DC of
14.
14. Okay. You sense your spell taking root as this woman sort of almost like stops in the middle of her explanation of the pantry and immediately just sort of like turns to you. Oh, we have cookies as well. Shall we make cookies?
Oh.
I will kind of direct her away from whatever Zokar is about to get up to, and I will say, it is time to dispense with this facade, and you tell me what's really going on, and I'll try and start interrogating her because I think, she's obviously involved in something that is over or is not above board.
Fair. All right. Azure.
Is this door right there? Is
Yep.
that like to the alley, or is that like another room?
From the shape of the house,
Okay.
it's probably another room.
Okay. I will walk up to that door and do like a quick check for traps.
Okay. That is an action perception check.
Man,
Okay.
I'm not rolling well.
It does not seem that there are any readily apparent traps.
Okay. So you said that was an action?
Yeah.
That's all I can really do this turn.
Okay. You may free object interaction open it if that's a thing that you were considering.
Oh yeah, I guess I could do that. I'm guessing it's gonna be locked. I'll try. I'll like jiggle the handle, see if it's unlocked.
All right, it opens, and you see.
I don't want to open it. I don't want
Whoops.
to open it. I just wanted to see if it was unlocked. I didn't look at.
Right. Yeah. Sorry, my bad. Yeah, it does. It is unlocked.
Okay, I'll open it just a crack and just see if I see anybody in here. That's all.
At least in that first glance, you do not. There are some bed rolls basically, and that is really all that catches your attention.
Okay, then I'll just leave it at that for right now.
Come on. There we go. Got a little bit better there. Okay, then Tally, you are outside the window and you see Zokar like instinctively tense.
I'm gonna stay outside the window, and I'm gonna pull out my longbow and I'm going to aim at this nice man and hold my action for anything hostile that he does. And if he does anything hostile towards anyone in my party, I will drop him.
Okay. then that will bring us on to Zokar. Make that grapple check.
My armor will flash with arcane light as silver tendrils begin to wrap themselves around my arm, increasing my muscular strength.
Mm-hmm.
I rolled a 26 grapple check.
Yeah, he is grappled.
I will bring him close to my face, and I will simply say, we know that you have been selling books that are not as they appear. You will tell us what we need to know if you wish to live.
And he sort of lets out this panicked yelp. And I assume that's the end of your turn?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Then, this is going to get funny. Zokar, as you sort of move in and grab at him, and grip him by the scruff or around the neck and almost lift him up with the disparity of hits there, does a 18 hit you?
Sure does.
So you're standing there, and then you have this sudden, strange sensation as the rug underneath you yanks out from under your feet and then wraps itself around your body.
Oh, not one of these runs.
I mean, I'm
Same action go off at that.
how much is wrapped around me? How much is wrapped around him? Since we are one continuous thing at the moment.
Well, you are connected by a hand, so like your hand is sticking out of the rug essentially, but it is wrapped around you.
Yeah, okay. I can handle.
Let's see, and I need to change my layers here. Move this onto the token layer.
This is what the good Lord invented shocking grasp for.
Right?
All right, and then, oh yeah, that is interesting. Okay, so let's see. I need to get rid of this guy, and actually,
What?
hang on, give me a second. Give me a second. Get rid of her.
Oh God.
Do this and this. As this frenzy of activity, you have now grabbed this guy. Zokar, you do not see this because you are restrained, blinded, and cannot presently breathe. But that won't be a problem for a little bit. But everyone else sees... as everyone else sees the man that he is holding up sort of like shivers, and you hear sort of like the creaking of bones as his form changes. This elongated snout comes out, these large yellowed sort of almost pulsating eyes grow to fill his space as he sort of snarls around. No! As he...
I'm pretty sure that would make my triggered action go off.
Yup. And similarly,
Yeah,
in the other
I
room...
shoot him.
Yep, go ahead and do that. And similarly, in the other room, the woman also is like in the midst of getting the cookie jar, and then she sees an actual attack break out, and she seems conflicted because she is, trusting of Baratsune, but these other people with Baratsune are now a threat. So she also changes her form and reveals this bestial sort of canine visage. And that is, I think, both of their actions.
So it was an 18 to hit.
See. All right, an 18 will hit.
Minimum damage 5.
Okay, as you strike out there. All right, and yeah, so that is their actions to transform, and that will bring us, I think, bottom of the initiative to Selva.
Okay, it looks like my lady in the kitchen is not pleasant, so I think I will
kind of motion you towards the other room. I've got this one under control if you want to help out.
I mean, we got 3 in the other room. I'm not gonna leave you alone, Barry.
Well, it is my intention to exploit the charm that I've placed upon her. But
Okay.
I suppose you might not notice, or might not have noticed that. So
Zooming out, can the charm still apply if like the person enemy? Like confirmed like enemy in a battle? Like charm person can still apply.
So basically,
it gets
right,
complicated.
it gets very complicated. Right now, she regards Baratzun as a friend, and she won't hurt Baratzun, but the rest of you are fair game.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm gonna step out then.
Okay.
And go into the other room. And I'm gonna shoot the guy grappled by carpeted Zokar
Okay.
with a chromatic orb.
Laughing Sean,
Yeah.
Carpeted Zokar. That's my nickname.
Carpeted, that's a status effect, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Did I hit the right thing?
You did, and unfortunately, you missed with an 11.
Gosh.
All right. And you may not occupy the same space as Baratzun, so keep on moving and place yourself where you want to end your turn. All right. And that will bring us back up to the top with Baratzun.
And I see that she has now become some sort of were creature, and I will tell her, no, this is you don't want to get involved. My friends won't hurt him. Just please. I'm trying to help you. I want you to get out of this situation without anybody else getting hurt.
All right. I will leave it up to you whether that is a deception or a persuasion check.
I'm going to go with it doesn't really matter, I have the same, but we'll say a persuasion.
Okay. All right. She sort of backs up into the corner and just sort of looks into, make it stop, please. But seems that maybe she will see what happens on her turn, but that is her initial response.
Okay. Make it stop. I could just cast sleep on everybody, but that would probably leave RJ continued to be grappled by a rug.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, that will bring us to Azure.
I will disengage from the rug with my bonus action. I don't know if it can swing at me, but I don't want to take a risk.
Sure.
And then I'll aim my bow at the were creature and just, if it.
It's magic.
Yeah, I guess I'll just take a snipe at it.
Okay.
To be fair, you probably have the best weapon at the moment now
Yeah.
for air creatures.
I'm gonna just fire. Ooh,
That is a hit.
doesn't look good. That's a hit.
Yep.
Do I get sneak attack because everyone's surrounding him?
Yes.
Okay.
So being held aloft.
Oof.
Pretty good.
All right. 12 damage will bloody him, and he looks in very sorry shape presently. All right. Anything else,
That's
Azure?
all I can.
All right.
That's all I can do.
That brings us to Tally. There is now a broken window in front of you from your arrow firing through.
Yeah, I think I'll stay outside. I'm going to shoot the carpet.
Okay.
I'm most concerned about the carpet, but before I shoot it, I'm going to remember what I have abilities to do. I'm going to cast Hunter's Mark on it.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see if I can hit it. If I can hit it, that changes things. So I got a 14.
That is a hit.
Cool. Then I'm going to.
Ow!
What?
Keep
You'll
going.
see.
Keep
You'll see.
going.
I'm
RJ
gonna
is jumping the
favored
gun
foe it.
slightly.
I'm going to favored foe it, which means I get an extra D4 of damage.
Uh-huh.
So
Ow! Louder!
okay. So I get this plus this. So that's 9 plus 10. Wow. 19 damage on the rug.
Okay. The rug takes, I'll be generous and I'll say 10 points of damage as you hear Zokar cry out from a crossbow or an arrow sticking into him as he takes 9 damage.
Ow.
Fine. This is fine.
All right. Anything
It's
else?
not fine.
Well, wait a minute. Hold on. I'm confused. So I actually will I will slightly confound you, Dungeon Master,
Okay.
which is that I don't feel that Hunter's Mark damage or favored foe damage should have any effect on him.
You are firing this arrow with extra impetus and extra power, and there is magic about it, and it is partially the arrow that goes through the rug that hits him, and also the rug itself almost tightens and constricts around. It has a special property that it transfers some of its damage to its enclosed target.
Well, that's lame.
Logic, though.
The best thing we can do is drop it.
All right. That brings us to Zokar. You are blinded and restrained.
I will use my free hand to absolutely wrench the shit out of this thing off of my body.
Okay.
So my armor will flash silver again, and I'm just gonna punch out of it.
Okay.
With, I'm pulling it off.
Yeah. Making the grapple escape attempt. All right. Does
Did I roll a 5? Does that work? Does a 14 work?
surprisingly it does.
Oh, thank God! I just
Nice.
ran, and I couldn't remember what the number was, and I had a panic attack.
As you manage to just
God.
rip it slowly off of you and throw it off, and it sort of flutters in the air and sort of rights itself and sort of starts doing the the chicken dance, or the playing a game of chicken with you. Do you have a
Light it up! Don't let it light it up! Don't let it touch you. And that was my action.
Mhm.
Don't have any useful bonus actions. Is the door opened that AZ opened? Is it still ajar?
Yeah, it's
I will-
correct.
I will move in there with the guy
Okay.
and then use my free interact to shut the door with my foot.
All right. Fair enough. Yeah, that's reasonable. All right. Very good. All right. That
Are you in
brings.
the room with him?
Yeah, he's in the next room with that guy.
Oh,
I dragged him away from the murder rug.
However, I suppose it is fair to say that the murder rug has an attack of opportunity on you. Although, well, we'll see. Well, we'll see how this turns out. It rolls horribly, so I don't need to do the mental gymnastics anyway. But now is its turn, and Selva tried to shoot it, so it's just gonna flutter over and try to grapple Selva. Ooh, that is a 20 to hit. Which I assume works on Selva.
Oh, yeah. 12 was my armor class.
All right. And so there is this flurry of rustling fabric, and you find yourself encased in this rug that just wraps itself around you in a flash. You are restrained and blinded. And also, what is your Constitution modifier? Because this might be a little more important for you.
Would that be?
What's your Constitution score?
Oh, +2 is my Constitution modifier.
Okay.
Or do you mean saving throw? You don't mean saving throws, right?
No, yeah, just the modifier by itself.
+2.
So okay, so you should be fine for a while. All right, that will take us to the creatures. Well, the guy that Zokar is holding is panicked and going to try and do something about this. And as you're sort of holding him up, he's going to look down at you, and the strange yellowness to his eyes is just going to start pulsing in these rhythmic flashes as he makes consistent eye contact with you. I need a wisdom save.
Uh-oh.
I have those.
You find yourself briefly enraptured by this rhythmic pulsing and feel yourself almost falling into this yellow void. And then you sort of snap out of it and blink and break eye contact. And he curses in a language that you do not understand, but the tone is very obvious. Meanwhile, let's see. What is the kitchen one gonna do? Let's see, Azure is right there. Yeah, she's going to sort of shimmy over this way and make eye contact with Azure, and that same sort of pulsing. Do I need a wisdom save from Azure?
Wisdom save.
Mm-hmm. Oh, actually, let's see. That is interesting. Well, advantage not necessary here. So you feel yourself sort of almost falling into this void and snap out of it, blink, and look away from her eyes as she is not able to use her gaze upon you. And bottom of initiative, Selva, you are blind and restrained inside this carpet.
Can I do anything?
As an action, you may make a strength, an athletics, or acrobatics check to try and get out, or you may do things basically with disadvantage. You can still attack, you just have disadvantage because you are restrained.
Okay. You said a strength or a what?
It could be athletics or
Athletics.
acrobatics.
Okay. But I can also like try to do a spell
Yeah.
with disadvantage.
Mm-hmm.
Can I just?
If you have any spells that provoke a save, then there wouldn't be a disadvantage to worry about.
Mm-hmm.
So that could be a good option. If you have anything with like a touch range, there could be an argument to be made to a kind DM, since you're maximally touching it at the moment.
I don't have that. Other than mending, which I definitely don't want to mend this rug. So,
Trying to escape is a good option because that will mean you take less damage when the rest of us try to kill it.
Yeah, that's probably so.
Okay,
athletics
yeah.
or athletics.
You know what? I'm going to try. Yeah, I'll just try athletics then.
Okay. Unfortunately, it holds you tight and squeezes around you, and you are unable to escape. All right. And that will bring us back up to Baratzun.
Okay. I have spells
Yes.
that require either an intelligence saving throw or a wisdom saving throw. What do I think this thing
Probably
is
not very
going to be vulnerable to?
Are you are you proficient to with Arcana, I presume?
Yes.
Then go ahead and make me a freebie Arcana check as a monster knowledge check.
Alright.
Unless it's casting magic missile at you, always int is my personal rule of thumb.
Right. So you, especially having seen just over your shoulder the way that those eyes pulsed and the way that she stared down as, you recognize these...
Oh, no. I'm talking about the rug.
Oh, sorry, the rug. Let's see.
I don't want to attack the creature yet. I'm
Right.
still hoping I can salvage the fact that it's charmed to defuse this combat situation. That seems less and less likely as the combat goes on.
Fair enough. Looking at a rug, you recognize it. It is animated. It is a construct of some form. So it would be immune to a lot of physical stuff. Blinding, charming, fear, deafening, paralysis, petrification, or poison. So a lot of those physically based conditions would not affect it at all. In terms of abilities, it's animated. It probably doesn't have much in the way of mental stats in general.
Okay. So I can potentially do psychic damage to it.
Psychic damage would not do the trick. Sorry, I left that out.
Okay.
It does not have
In
a
that
mind.
case, I will cast Toll the Dead.
Okay.
So it must make a Wisdom save
Okay.
or take 1d12 points of damage.
Wisdom save. It fails.
All right. I will do 10 points of necrotic damage.
All right. You deal 5 points of necrotic damage, and Selva takes 5 points of bludgeoning as it squeezes tighter and uses that magical energy to transfer its pain away.
Well, that's
You said how much did I take?
5 points of necrotic. Or 5 points of bludgeoning. And that will bring us to Az.
Oh boy. I don't want to kill you, Selva, but I might. Can I assist her getting out? Give her
Yeah.
like advantage on her next check.
Yeah, you can take the help action to give her advantage.
Then
I rug off.
yeah, I'll grab the rug and try to here, get out this way.
Gotcha. All right, sounds good. Tally.
And then
Oh, sorry.
sorry. I'm actually going to close that door. I'm going to close that front door as I walk past. Just shut it.
Sure.
In
Sounds
case
good.
anyone walks by.
All right.
Do you mind if we take a tiny break?
Oh,
could actually
yeah.
throw
No, that
some.
would actually be. Yeah. Yeah. We'll do a quick little break. But that brings us to Zokar.
I will I'm continuing to hold this guy. He hasn't tried to escape, so I will just shocking grasp him.
Okay.
Oh, wait, no, that's not right. That is a thing.
Oof.
Okay.
Oof. Zokar, how's it going down?
I will literally just electrocute him into an unconscious heap and drop him on the ground.
All right. There is a jolt through
is there another person in the room?
Pardon?
Oh, sorry. Please continue with your description. I didn't mean to interrupt. Apologies.
There is, the jolt of electricity, and then, slumps to the ground. Remains in that present form. Does not change.
Is there a person in this room?
Oh, did I mess up there? Yes, I did. My bad. There is not anyone there right now. I had basically the hideout set up with everybody home, and then I could take away as need be. So you simply saw where a person could have been.
Gotcha. I will I guess open the door and move through it again.
Okay. All right.
And that's my turn.
All right, that will bring us to the rug, which still, let's see. Selva, now you are grappled. The rug is going to squeeze around you. and you take 13 points of bludgeoning damage.
Oh no, I think I'm like dead.
You're at 0?
You're merely dying. You're not dead.
Yeah.
All
Okay,
right.
yeah, I'm out of health. So.
Okay, yep.
I won't let you go down.
All right, so then it will release Selva and sort of turn its, sort of look at the rest of the room and figure out what it's doing next. That one is dead. The one in the kitchen has seen Selva go down. Baratsune has gone down. I think
no,
she's...
I have not.
Or, what do I mean? You know what I mean. Azure succeeded on his save, so she's kind of run out of things to do. She is going to cower in the corner and take the dodge action.
Okay.
And that will bring us...
I will try to calm her down in my turn.
Selva, I need you to roll a d20. This is your first death saving throw.
Jeez. Should I do that on roll 20?
Sure.
Or does it matter?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Just any d20. And you want a 10 or better. All right, that is 1 out of 3 successes. And that will bring us back up to the top with Baratsune.
Okay. I will walk into the kitchen and close the door behind me and try to calm down this terrified, shape-shifting criminal.
Okay. Make a what do you say? Do you say anything particular, or do you want your check to speak for you?
I will, say this. This all has gone so terribly wrong, but I think that I can convince my friends that you are of no danger. You were barely even involved in whatever harebrained scheme you've gotten yourself tangled up in. Don't worry, we'll get out of this.
Okay. Roll that persuasion check. And I think by virtue of charm person, you have advantage on her, actually.
All right, we'll roll it again, and we'll keep the 14.
Yep. Okay. She seems to sort of stay, she is still terrified, but you haven't made things worse, per se. All right, and that'll bring us to Az.
Oh shoot. Zokar, you stepped out of the room now?
No, I'm back in.
He's back in.
Okay. I will disengage and take a step back,
Okay.
and then I'll fire a crossbow at the rug.
All right.
That's not good.
That is a miss, Aroni. All right.
I'll step in the corner
Okay.
because I don't want to get grappled.
Good. That will then
Not
bring us
fun.
on to Zokar.
I'm going to try something, and you can tell me if it's outside of the scope of the rules or not. But I'm going to, with a unsheath my greatsword, and I'm going to try and stab it through the rug into the ground in one driving motion to pin it to the ground.
Okay.
So I will roll to hit.
Mm-hmm.
A 15 hit.
A 15 will do it. Okay.
14 points of damage as I drive it, try and stake it into the location that it's in.
All right. I will say that is... I will give it a strength save as this is happening. And it will fail rather handily on that. So it is pinned in place, restrained. Not too bad, not too bad. And it is now bloodied. There are rips and tears across it everywhere from the multiple times that people have hit it or pulled it off of themselves or what have you. And it is looking in bad shape. And it has a turn, and it's going to use its action to try and wrest itself free. and it will get even worse on a strength save. So that is it. The woman in the kitchen will just continue to sort of dodge and cower. And okay. Then that'll bring us to Selva. I need another D20.
You can do it. Roll a nat 20. Come back to us.
I believe in you. Yeah.
Whoa!
Yes,
Oh!
manifest it.
Jeez. Okay, so Selva, a natural 20 on your death saving throw means that you get 1 hit point back, and you now can take your turn.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Manifest it.
Put that in the air.
Let's see, what should I do?
Murder it.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
not grappling anyone right now, so that's good.
Well, you know what? I'm just gonna jolt it.
Okay. That'll do.
That'll do, pig. Oh,
Womp womp.
Hey, Selva,
You know?
how's it going down?
but is it going down with that?
Yes. Yes.
Oh
That's
my
great.
gosh.
That's fantastic.
I like wake up. I kind of think this is all a fever dream. I don't know what's going on. The tiniest spark kind of comes out. It's accidental. It's not flattering for anyone. And I shoot the rug.
Yeah.
Dry-ass rug catches fire from your little static electricity spark.
Yeah, absolutely. Static electricity jolts off Selva, and the rug just like bursts into flames, quickly burning through all the fibers, and that takes care of that. And then, sort of as you are sort of rushing around, Baratsune is in the kitchen trying to calm down the one that remains, and then the front door swings open. And you see the woman in the sort of cowl that you had seen exit probably about, 20 minutes ago, return and just stand aghast in the doorway. What in the maker has happened here? And that's where we'll pick up next week.
Exterminator.
I am very sorry because of the technical difficulties that we had today, folks, before we even started recording and whatnot. We are actually not quite able to finish the adventure. But tune in. Oh gosh, I'm so bad at dates. Future Brendan is gonna maybe pop in here and talk about when our next air date will be. Hello there, folks. As predicted, future Brendan from the editing room here to give you our dates and whatnot and close out the episode. Our next episode will be airing on June 2nd, so we will look forward to seeing you, 2 Wednesdays from now. We hope that you really enjoyed the episode. Thank you again, everyone, so much for bringing us up to affiliate status. We are really excited about everything that's going forward. I think hopefully that by the time this airs, we're looking at some of our emotes are out. Will be more on the way that we are excited to bring. Thinking about launching a Discord server as well and getting that all squared away. So there are really exciting things on the horizon. So tune in on Wednesday, June 2nd, to see the conclusion of this particular chapter, our level up and some downtime activities where you might have the opportunity to get to know the party a little bit better as they grow into their subclasses in some cases, and we see what's up with them. So thank you everyone for all of your support, and we will look forward to seeing you soon. And of course, come and check me out on other live streams as I have the various video games and whatnot that I'm playing here. Civilization with Anthony, Cultist Simulator. I've got some other things in the pipeline that we're really excited to share with you. So thank you again for all of your support, and we will see you around.